Many guys believe it takes 10 years with great genetics and maybe some to build an aesthetic physique. But you can do it naturally and it would be actually way faster than you think. For most of my life, I've been eating junk food, ruining my health and my physique. But now, I've built one of the most attractive versions of myself and it's gonna keep improving. And in today's video, I'm gonna be showing you why building an aesthetic physique is actually way faster than you think. So let me tell you guys a story. When I was 6, I started first grade. Well, duh, Sherlock. It was the first time I leave my family warm circles and enter society. And of course, what attracts young kids the most? A lot of trash foods in front of the school doors. They were served a lot outside of my school, like French fries, corn dogs, and like those greasy Chinese stick things. I don't even know what that is, but it's so addicting. And you can all agree with me that that is totally not something healthy. But it was like the perfect, luxurious food for a kid. And I got hooked on it for years. Almost my entire childhood was revolved around. And of course, after a span of just 10 years, spending my entire childhood just after school, going into that snack bars, I ruined my physique. And after that, I found myself into the fitness path. And guess what? It takes me 10 years to ruin my physique. It only took me 2.5 years to turn around a decade worth of mistake. In those years, they weren't even perfect, but they still helped me get to the goal that I want to achieve within only 1/4 of the time it took me to ruin it. And that's when I realized getting a aesthetic physique is actually easy. It just takes consistency and a student mindset to keep on improving. And this is the system that I use myself to revert my 10-year worth of mistake over my health and my physique. And guess what? It doesn't have to be perfect. By just following these 3-phase training journey, you'll be sure to learn every fundamentals that you need and get that dream physique of yours. So let's get straight into it. Step 1, getting used to the gym. If you want to get to know someone you just met, what's the first thing you're going to do? It's not to tell them every single complicated things about you and your hobbies. It starts with a conversation or something easy. And it will be the same as building yourself an aesthetic physique. You start by training with something light and maybe trying out machine, trying out the free weight section. That will help you learn about the gym better. For example, it could be something simple like getting out the gym space more, trying out new machines, seeing how each machine works, seeing which specific muscle does that exercise or machine works, walking a bit on a treadmill. Just something simple like that. It doesn't have to be super complicated or hard at the beginning. We want to help you build the momentum that you need. This will help you build the skill of consistency in the gym. And if the workout or the goal you set yourself is way too hard or unachievable, you will feel demotivated if you don't achieve that goal. Like if you just be too intimate with some stranger right off the bat, it would not go well, right? So for this first phase, get to know the gym, explore the machine and weight section, learn some exercises, then give it a try. And don't worry if you're thinking that you're in this phase for too long. The normal time that I expect everyone to be in this phase is around 1 to 6 months. You have that much time to just get to know the gym. I think with that, you have enough time to learn the fundamentals and how all the machine works in the gym. Also with that, pack yourself with some knowledge about the exercise that you want to train personally in the gym. And if you want a free workout routine with all the fundamental exercise that you need to build an aesthetic physique, I leave 3 free workout routines on the description down below, so feel free to check them out if you're interested. And that leads us to the second phase, which is the progressive overload phase. This usually happens within the 6 to 12 month range when you're in the gym. There's no need to rush, don't worry about it. We shall get back to the person we just get to know with a few light conversation, right? After we have initiate the conversation and it's going smoothly, what do we do to get to know them more? We ask more things about them, starting off with something light. And slowly, after you have known more about each other, you ask more intimate stuff. And the same goes for building an aesthetic physique. You need to progress with those exercises that you picked, that you want to train in the gym. Progression could come in many ways and form. That could be increasing weight, increasing the range of motion, better forms to hit the muscle you want to hit, and the number of sets that you do. Which, if you don't understand, is how much time you do an exercise, rest, and then do that exercise again. And slowly, time by time, you will learn how to train harder on that same movement or same exercise you do at the gym to get more growth. And don't worry, there's a specific goal you want to reach on this progression path of 6 to 12 months. What I would like you to reach with this is the ability to train to failure. It is when you can't physically do a rep anymore in a set, and you would slowly want to reach this intensity in your training. This is the intensity zone that actually gives you the most amount of growth. Just keep good form and make sure it hits the right muscle. As the intensity goes up day by day, your body and your mind will have the time to adapt. And then finally, you will be able to reach that training intensity. That will be the best for muscle growth. And after you have slowly progressed up in intensity and finally get used to training to failure, maybe you don't even feel that right if you don't push your workout that hard. That brings us to the final phase, third phase, optimization and boredom. That sounds a bit pessimistic, right? But stay with me. Now that you have learned the fundamental basics and the best intensity zone for muscle growth, it's like now you have become best friend with the dude who was just a stranger a few years ago. You have now gotten to know them, knowing their favorite food, all of their little secrets. Now, it's just purely a friendship phase. You just enjoy spending time with them. Sometimes you may have a fight and it's not so enjoyable. And even though you continue on with the same activities, yet you still grow closer to them. It might be the 10th time you have went to the cinema with them, but it still feels great. You keep building up that strong bond. And you may have guessed it, it's the same with building an aesthetic physique. Now you have learned what matters the most for your gains. The only thing you need to do to get yourself an aesthetic physique is to just be consistent and be boring with your training regimen. Most people online might say like, oh, you have to do this specific exercise, you have to eat this specific diet I created. Or, oh, you have to buy this massage gun. If not, your recovery is slacking up 10 times of normal recovery, blah, blah, blah. All sort of complicated stuff like that. But the truth is, it doesn't have to be like that. While yes, it may improve some fitness aspect, it's not gonna be any like super magical pills. Like, just learning the fundamentals like these is the 80% of the 80-20 rules. The thing that brings you 80% of the result with only 20% of the work. This is the phase where you have learned everything you need, and the only thing that matters right now is for you to hit the gym consistently and do the same thing over and over and over again. Compound effect of small gains happening every day will start to stack up, and then you will get yourself on that physique you have always wanted. Getting an aesthetic physique is not actually that sexy in real life. It's just consistency and the general knowledge on how you shape your physique. For this phase, it might take you years. Realistically, even 2 to 3 years. But at this point, I think you have already built the discipline that you needed in the gym. Maybe you have even fallen in love with this sport. So that may be the few years that feels the shortest in your life. And then one day, you might just be confused at yourself. Looking at that mirror, see that physique that you've always wanted is finally reality for you without you even noticing it. So, it doesn't take perfect genetics. It also doesn't take years of complicated science or something like that. And it doesn't take motivation every single day. It just takes a clear plan of you knowing what to do and how does that plan even looks like, even roughly, and the discipline to show up even when you don't feel like it. Because while it might have taken 10 years to ruin your body, it only takes me about 2 to 3 years to build a physique that attracts attention, builds confidence, and most importantly, change your life. So if you're still waiting for that perfect moment to start, this is it. And if you want more motivation, knowledge, a brotherhood, and accountability, our Aesthetic Max Academy is the perfect place for you, where young men who have the same goal as building aesthetic physique strive without the judgment of others. It will be at the top link in the description down below, so I'll be waiting for you on the inside. And click here to watch another video that YouTube recommends in my channel. YouTube is a smart motherfucker, so I'm sure it will be something valuable to you.